hopefully and so if other people start coming on, it should be okay. Um, all right. So once again, welcome to Joy Shop, turning grief and loss into softness and love. And in all my workshops, in sessions, anything that I do, it's for the purpose of helping you to feel good. Because what I know is that when we change our thoughts, we change our emotions. And from a place of feeling softer, lighter, more centered and peaceful, we find our inner wisdom. We're able to be present for our life. We are able to move forward because we can't change the past, that we don't have control over everything in our lives. But what we do have control over is the power of our thoughts. But we have to exercise that and exercise that practice. So I'm going to cover a couple different things today. And the biggest thing I'm going to ask people is to be willing to let go of the thinking that is causing you pain and suffering, even if you don't know how, even if you don't think it's possible. To be willing to let go of thinking a certain way, even if you have reasons for it. So you have reasons to be mad, or you have reasons to be sad. So to really go to that place of owning that how you think determines your feelings, your emotions. And emotions are good. We want to have negative emotions. They're our guidance. So for instance, just like that ability to feel hot and cold, if you get close to a wood stove that's super hot, you're going to have that guidance of pain so that you'll back away. So that when those different emotions and feelings come up, like anxiety or panic or fear, guilt, shame, whatever the negative emotion is, that we don't want to ignore it, just like we wouldn't ignore that guidance to back away from the wood stove. We want to use it for information, for guidance. We want to give the fears soothing and relief and comfort. So I ask you to be willing to see things differently, to be willing to follow your own wisdom and guidance within. Because that's what I find again and again when I work with clients in sessions, that they've been able to go to a certain way of thinking about something that has given them that relief and peace. But it's that kind of going back and forth that really sets them up for the pain and the suffering. So that's why we do the hypnosis and the meditation, because from a place of centeredness and peace, we start to remember our own inner wisdom and guidance. So the be willings are be willing to feel good despite the unwanted occurrence or happening. Be willing to see the transition of your loved one or your loss in a softer, lighter way. And I don't say just I'm not asking people to go to a place of, oh, I'm just so happy about something I don't like. But when I say a softer, lighter way, when we start to shift and change our focus, see things differently from a different perspective, we can get that lightness and that softness. Be willing to do your part by choosing the softest thoughts possible, so that you can become the cooperative component in your own well-being. So the softest spot possible might be anger. Coming from a place of hopelessness, anger can feel a little bit better. So I ask people to let your emotions come up so that we can so you can go to that place of addressing them, to meet them with softness. Just like a little child that came to you scared, afraid of monsters under their bed, excuse me, you wouldn't say to them, well, just go hide in a closet until you feel better. Hopefully you would meet them with love, with softness, and to do that for ourselves. To let go of the idea that pain and suffering can change things. And this is a big one. We're kind of trained up to, it's like push or make things happen. And thinking that if we go to the pain or suffering, maybe we're honoring our loved one more, or we're honoring our loss more. Letting go of the idea that pain and suffering actually makes things better. And I ask people to not take my word for anything, but to go within and feel the truth of that when you come from that place of pain or suffering, it just blocks out and clouds your judgment, your wisdom. It really cuts off your ability to be present, to feel joyful, to appreciate the blessings in your life, and be willing to let go of judgment, not only towards yourself, but towards others. That people come from different places too. Oftentimes we'll have that loss, and we can start being judgmental of others, like their ability to meet our needs. I've seen this again and again where a client has lost their dad, and then they start to feel kind of critical and judgmental towards their husband, because they're not their dad. They're not going to necessarily meet the same needs. So once again, I'm not saying you need to get to these places right away, but to just have that willingness to have that growth, that evolution, to move forward to a softer, lighter place. And other examples of just judging other people, I've had friends where, well, they weren't there for me in the right way. Well, to kind of know that that support and love is there and available for you, but it might come in different ways. That some people are dealing with their own stuff, or they're just not good at what you think you need. So feel a sense of kind of an openness that your needs will be met. You'll get the soothing, the relief, the comfort, that you are gonna feel better and find your way. And being willing to believe it's gonna be all right, that you can get to a place of well-being, and even have a connection with your loved one, or embody wisdom and clarity about your loss. So some people get to that place where they feel like they have a connection with their significant other, the person that transitioned, what I like to say is pure positive love and light. Some people just go to that place of using it as a catalyst, so that maybe they weren't able to help their loved one, but they go on to live their life more clearly and differently. Or they're able to go to a place of utilizing the memories that they enjoyed, and to relive them, and to kind of use what they learned and the relationship as a launching off place to welcome in more support, more love. Because different people, they fit different niches and needs in our life. Like somebody might have been a super close friend, and they were your playful person, or your accountability partner. I know for me, my dad, he represented, when he transitioned to pure positive love and light, he represented to me a loss of security, a sense of unconditional love. So that to not beat up on yourself if you don't instantly go to that place of feeling good. That oftentimes different relationships, it's like you have to prove that there's still love for you, that the feeling of safety is available, that feeling of security. And in fact, when we have something like this happen, whether it's the loss of a pet, a loved one, a loss of a job, it's like, in order to feel good, we don't have that condition to give us that. So we have to go to that place of unconditional love. And when I say unconditional love, it's like you have to go within and sift through and find different thoughts to give you that sense of well-being and peace. So to kind of give you an example of going to a place of thinking about things differently, think about, how do I think about death? I just had a friend who she had her son transitioned into pure positive love and light. And just by saying that he transitioned into pure positive love and light, it made her feel softer and better. My knowing is that energy never dies. So whether it's a tree that we would say the tree has died, it's changing form. It's still feeding life that different animals and plants benefit, so that we can get there in all kinds of different ways. That for me, I have a belief, whether I can prove it to you or not, or anybody else, it doesn't matter. But this belief makes me feel good and it enhances my life, that we are eternal, infinite beings, that we're spiritual beings in human form. So I'm able to go to a place where I feel like I have a connection with my loved ones that have transitioned to pure positive love and light. But you don't have to believe what I believe. So what I'm going to offer up in this time together that we have today is a peace technique, what I call the love technique. It's a self-hypnosis technique to take you to a place of centeredness and peace. I'm going to offer up different ideas, different ways that you might think of things. And throughout, I'm going to just kind of weave in there little meditations. So some of the suggestions that I offer up are things like to be like a duck in water. Effortless and easy to let a suggestion that doesn't resonate or feel right just beat off you like water off a duck's back, because it's your life. It's your journey, and what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you. But to kind of start thinking of how could I look at this differently, so that instead of going to a place of just feeling a sense of regret about what could have been, you know from evidence that when you go down that path, it lines you up for trouble usually, and it takes you to a place of sadness and loss. But with time, if you start to practice again and again and again, a new pattern of thought of when you think of your loved one, let's say you lost a pet, and you just think of all those beautiful memories. Maybe it's like, oh my gosh, I loved how they got me outside and walking, and that feeling of unconditional love and comfort. And then that might take you to a place to, well, how could I bring this more into my life? Or how can I give it to others? So that you start to think in new ways. But once again, I'm not saying you just try to jump there all at once. That it's a process, it's a journey, but to be willing to go to that place of softness. So sharing the love technique, maybe you've done it before, do it again. Do it again and again to reinforce it, to go to these lighter, softer places. So what I do to help you really kind of embody this love technique is I lead you kind of in a hypnosis meditation. So to kind of open up those suggestions that this can be super powerful, that who you are, my belief is that you are a joyful soul. That this technique I call the love technique really takes you back into a place that's natural for you. Um, and when I say natural, to kind of go within and see if this feels true to you. When you feel good, it feels right. When you're in that place of well-being, it's a sense of, yes, this is where I belong. This is my home within. And when you don't feel good, it feels wrong. And oftentimes we try to change the conditions outside of us, or we look for the right conditions to bring us that happiness. But the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself and for your loved ones and those around you is to go within, to choose thoughts that produce those emotions that feel good. And we're called to that feeling of wrongness. It's calling you to the softer feelings. For instance, when you're feeling fearful or hopeless, maybe you start to blame other people. That's a better feeling. So I encourage people to vent, but to not stay there, not to spin your wheels. And that's kind of how you know it's like, oh my gosh, I just keep going back to these same places again and again and again. So to be able to kind of go up that emotional rung on the ladder to a lighter, softer feeling place, and to appreciate, like, for instance, I remember one woman that I was working with, her husband had died suddenly, but I like to say transitioned into pure positive love and light. And she felt, after our first session, she felt relief, but she still kept going back and forth. So I would ask her, well, go ahead and notice all the different times when you do feel softer and lighter. Notice how it's less. Um, and then eventually she got to the place where it could be days. And then people go to that place of weeks. But to let it be okay if kind of those old ways of thinking start to pop up, because it's just another opportunity to practice, to meet those feelings with softness and love. So the love technique, this self-hypnosis technique, to take you to a place of relief, comfort, centeredness, and peace. I equate it to like an ocean wave, very powerful and deep, but fluid and soft and relaxed. So I'm not teaching you a breath technique. There's other people out there that can train you up in how to breathe. So I'll say to you, the most important thing is to just relax. So whether you're breathing in through your nose or your mouth, um, whether it's a really deep breath or more of a shallow breath, know that with the relaxation, the deeper breathing will start to come. So what we do is you just take a nice, comfortable breath. And as you exhale, just go ahead and close your eyes and imagine just everything drops, shoulders relaxing. We're going to imagine a beautiful soft light coming from above, a feeling of just infinite, unconditional love, a gentle energy, a tender energy, a soft energy, a loving energy. And what does love feel like? It feels light, it feels comfortable, it feels soft, free, peaceful. And go ahead and open the eyes, and to know that each time you do this, it'll continue to be more powerful for you. Sometimes people don't feel anything. That's really completely normal too. I know when I first started to practice yoga, the yoga teacher would come over to me and she would correct my position and say, well, do you feel that? And it's like, no, I didn't feel the difference in the correct position because I was so used to ignoring my body. So that we can be so used to ignoring our feelings that that kind of subtleness of that softness starting to come in may not come to our awareness. For people just starting off, I might say, well, just take a sigh. And see if you can't notice with that sigh, you feel more of a dropping in your body, more of a lightness in your mind. And we want to enhance that. So let's do it again, once again. And this is a technique you can do with your eyes open, with your eyes closed. But for now, just giving yourself this time to just totally do the best that you can to let go and relax. So take a nice, comfortable breath. And as you exhale, just let your shoulders drop. Let the sound of my voice just add to a feeling of softness, peace, comfort. Feel with, and just keep breathing with the eyes closed, just staying here for a moment. Imagining a beautiful river of light coming from above. Just gently flooding the body like a dry sponge placed in water. Feel that sense of just thirsty for this soft energy. it gently soaking into your forehead, your scalp, flooding the brain, bringing a stillness, a comfort, a peace. It's like the neck relaxing, loosening, shoulders dropping, a sense of this beautiful, loving energy, this infinite, unconditional love flooding the heart. This energy is steady and constant, bringing a sense of flooding the heart with well-being, a feeling of it's safe to let go, to relax, to open up, to receive, to allow in this love. This beautiful sense of the energy flooding the lungs, bringing a stillness, a feeling, a trust that there's more life to live, a sense of you can relax. It's your time to just breathe easy, feeling this beautiful energy flooding the stomach, bringing a centeredness, a peacefulness, a well-being into that area. And just letting the sound of my voice just take you within to this beautiful, open, receptive state. And go ahead and open up your eyes. So I'm going to offer up different ways to look at things, different suggestions and ideas, but also the suggestion to really tap in within to your wisdom, your guidance within. Because you know from living life when it's like beating up on yourself, or by thinking a certain way and fixing on a certain thought, you've brought yourself pain and suffering and misery. And I get it. I've done the same thing too, where we're trained up to think that if we fixate and focus, that maybe we'll make it better. But if we fixate and focus in a positive way, we will. But if we fixate and focus on trains of thought that just are so hurtful to ourselves, that bring so much pain and suffering, it's like it just doesn't work. And the beautiful deal is when we feel centered and peaceful, we can go on to lead more meaningful and purposeful and connected lives. And so I'll give the suggestion, like a duck in water, effortless and easy. Feel a sense of freedom to let what doesn't resonate or feel right to you just beat off you like water off a duck's back. I'm going to imagine for you a kind of a sense of clearing. So a feeling of the brain clearing, old garbage being flushed and washed away, and a willingness to connect with your loved one, a willingness to feel at peace about your loss. I think of a client who would go to a place where she moaned about a job that she lost from mistakes that she made. And she would go to that place again and again, but it didn't serve her. But what she found when we started to sift through it is that loss of job really had opened up some beautiful insights and knowledge, and really kind of helped her reach out for support more. So you have so much of this wisdom within. And when you go to that place of softness and centeredness and peace, it's going to serve you. I know that there's been clients that, as we start to let go of kind of the old baggage, the old ways of thinking, they'll start to share with me, oh my gosh, I know my granddaughter is in a beautiful place because she came to me. And you know what? It doesn't matter if other people think these moments or beliefs are real. Bottom line, does this bring you a softness? I've had people tell me, I went to a place where I just knew, I knew all was well. One friend who, she had a belief that you had to believe a certain way in order to get into heaven. And she didn't feel like her husband believed that, but she went to this moment where she just knew all is well with him. And she was able to just go to that moment again and again, and she was able to receive her peace. So open and willing. Once again, go ahead and take a nice, comfortable breath. And as you exhale, go ahead and close your eyes and just feel the sound in my voice just taking you within to this beautiful open and receptive state. Open and receptive to feel this sense of just kind of cleansing, a flushing away of fixated thoughts, old ideas or beliefs that have brought you pain and suffering. And you don't need to identify this. Just relax, just relaxing. Go ahead and open up your eyes, and we're going to do that love technique again. Just take a nice, comfortable breath. And as you exhale, just feel everything drop, a sense of bones just kind of relaxing, settling, trusting that you can let go and things settle into place. Feel a relief, a release, this beautiful river of light. Let's imagine just filled with infinite unconditional love. And you're being thirsty like a dry sponge placed in water, and feel this sense of, you can feel the cells of your body just soaking up this peace, this well-being, this beautiful river of light. Let's imagine it's bringing this kind of cleansing, this release, a sense of it flooding into the brain, a feeling of it just kind of flushing, washing out your cells, your body, your system, your mind. This beautiful energy flooding the neck, the shoulders. This is the place, feeling good, that you connect with your loved ones, where you feel that sense of wisdom, that you get and understand the loss and how it led to some beautiful things. Open and receptive to see the beauty. Open and receptive to let go of your very real reasons to go to that place of pain and suffering, but to be willing, to go to the thoughts that bring relief and comfort, that allow you to be present to life, to be there for your loved ones that are here on planet Earth, to be there for your dreams, your desires, your goals. Once again, just keep taking those breaths. With each exhale, just imagine the body drops deeper and deeper, just doing it in your own beautiful time. So your breaths might be long, they might be short. Just tap into what feels relaxing and right to you. That I know sometimes it can feel good to open up my mouth, especially if I feel like my ears are clogged. Sometimes I can feel, if I breathe in through my nose, that it just kind of relaxes things, slows things down, brings a peaceful message. Just doing whatever feels right to you. Take a nice, comfortable breath. As you exhale, just feel everything let go and relax. This is your right. You're doing this. You're allowing yourself to go to a softer, lighter, more peaceful place. Letting the sound of my voice add to a sense of well-being. Imagining just this beautiful river of light coming from above and flooding, flushing out. It's like those old feelings that you just don't have to hold on to any longer. Sometimes we just hold on to old patterns of thought and just kind of feel a freedom. It's okay. It's okay for me to let go. It's okay for me to be willing. That feeling good is something that not only blesses you, but blesses the people around you, allows you to appreciate the blessings, to live life, to take that wisdom and move forward. Each exhale, just imagine just this soft, beautiful, gentle energy, like a dry sponge, thirsty for water. Just feel your body thirsty, soaking it up, feeling it spread, You might even feel different release, and different emotions might come. Don't try to hold them back. Just let it be met with this softness, this love. You don't have to hold back any of your emotions or your feelings. We want things to flow. We want things to open up, but to meet them with love, so that you don't have to be afraid that the negative emotions, once you let them go, will never stop, that you'll scare other people. This is a safe time for you to let those feelings be met with the comfort, the softness, the love. Feel this beautiful, loving energy flooding your heart. It is safe to be open to love, that there's different ways to receive, that there's love there for you, there's support there for you, engagement, aliveness. It's like there's a way to get that feeling of feeling safe or secure. Just this willingness to let go of feelings of guilt or shame, maybe a sense of I didn't do enough, or I should have done something different, or it wouldn't have happened if, that you did the best that you could, given your knowledge, wisdom, and abilities at the time. And the best thing that you could do right now is to meet any of those feelings of guilt or shame with softness, with love, willing to go to that place. If you've been mourning or sad, or your significant other transitioned 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it doesn't matter. A sense of I'm willing to see things differently, to let go of kind of that feeling of being a victim or being cut off. I'm willing to open up, to receive, to allow, and to meet yourself with softness, with love. So what if you went to a place of anger or guilt or sadness or feeling cut off? Welcome to the human race. You're in good company. Be willing to meet whatever, however you've been, in even the past moment, with love, with softness. And feel this sense of your body opening up, things loosening, things, it's like crevices that felt tight being cushioned and surrounded and supported with this beautiful energy of love. Just keep doing that love technique. Take a nice comfortable breath, exhale, and like a helium balloon that you just let go and release, feel a sense of your mind, your soul, your being floating. With each inhale, just feel yourself willing. I'm willing to see things differently. I'm willing to look at things differently, so that I can feel good, so that I can be that cooperative component to my own happiness. I'm willing to let go of judgments I've had about others, that the deal is that happiness truly is within us, that what we call death is a part of life, that what we call loss is a part of life. How are we going to look at it? That's going to make all the difference. Are we willing to find the meaning? Are we willing? Are you willing to go to that place of softness, to see things differently, open and receptive? My belief is that we're eternal, infinite beings, that there's no separation between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, so that our loved one is there to give us that comfort, that relief, that softness, that peace to have a relationship with. But like a duck in water, the sense of freedom, effortless and easy. Feel yourself open and receptive to tap into your inner wisdom, to be open and receptive to receive suggestions, ideas that bring you the direction, the relief, the comfort, the peace. That you are love. That's my knowing, that we live in this benevolent and friendly and loving universe. And there's that wiggle room for you to be human, to make mistakes, to figure things out, to find your way, that you don't have to be perfect at this. You don't have to have it all together just feel a sense of open and willing. And that's the biggest step of all. My knowing is there's going to be love there for you, support, guidance, open and receptive, being willing to see things differently. And go ahead and take a nice, comfortable breath. As you exhale, feel a sense of in those helium balloons, there's those old patterns of thinking and ways and self-righteous or justifying feelings for hanging on to pain or misery. Feel them be released. Feel your mind getting lighter, freer, your energy softer, more peaceful, that you are loved totally and completely loved. And just once again, open up your eyes. Take a nice, comfortable breath. As you exhale, let your eyes close. This is something that you know how to do, that you were born with, that our breath is life, that we've always had this beautiful ability to relax, to feel softer, freer. Once again, go ahead, take a nice comfortable breath. As you exhale, go ahead and close your eyes. I'm just gonna leave for 1 minute here and I'll be right back. I apologize. Come on, Trudy. Apologies for that interruption. My dog is sick and I needed to let her out. So once again, take a nice comfortable breath. And as you exhale, just feel that light, soft, relaxing feeling. All right, so I hope this has been supportive and helpful. We're going to get into more specific details in the Joy Shops to come. The next one is going to be on the 27th and then the 28th. And I'm going to make these replays available. Also with interviews that I'm doing with people, which I think is just so supportive and helpful when you see other people that have gone this path and they give you real life examples, so that you see that it's not always that smooth path that we think, but to really know with time, things can be so different. And I just recently, my mom transitioned to pure positive love and light. And for me, it was such a different experience than 10 years plus when my dad transitioned into that pure positive love and light. So, and then I can see each time it's like I have a friend, a family member that I'm in a whole different place. And it I feel like it's opened me up to a more expansive and beautiful universe, so that I feel at peace about when it comes my time to transition into that love and light. And this is a topic I think that there's so many taboos around it, where it's such a part of life, and this can really take you to a place of freedom. All right, so in a moment, I am going to go ahead and end the shop, but if you want to stay on, I'll give you the opportunity to unmute, to turn on your video, and to ask questions. But thank you for all who joined and for all that listened to the replay. Blessings.